everyone. Welcome to the Nikki Clarke Show. And how are you doing? Excellent. I love that. Wow. It's a full crowd. Thank you so much for making the decision to be here on this Friday night, and it is such an amazing and blessed evening. I am your host, Nikki Clarke, and the Nikki Clarke Show is about transforming lives one story at a time. We invite people from all walks of life to come and share their heart stories, their stories of empowerment and upliftment, and we have so much to learn from everyone tonight. So first up, we have an incredible woman who is doing amazing things for the community. She is a pastor, she's also an educator, and an author of children's books. So please put your hands together and welcome Dorrett Homer to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's so good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.
Awesome. But, you know, face to face. We've been communicating, virtually in that, but it's good to see you here.
Thanks for having me.
And you're more than welcome. So tell me a little bit about your background leading up to becoming a children's author, and congratulations on that, because I know it's not an easy feat.
Thank you so much. Well, to speak in respect to my background leading up to becoming an author, it's only fitting that I include and also share briefly my history, my beginning in my country of origin. So, Nikki.
And what's the country?
So I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Yes. How many Jamaicans out there? I was just waiting for her to say that. Yes, yes. You saw the hands go up.
Yes, I was born into a large family of 8 siblings, 5 boys and 3 girls. So in the 1970s, my mom, she uprooted the family and immigrated to Canada. And so she wanted us to have a better life, way of life. And so my journey in Canada, be it, getting an education and so forth, I did not know exactly what I wanted to be. I had 3 career paths in mind. I had a doctor, labor and delivery nurse, and also a fashion designer. So those were the 3 career paths that I pondered on.
Doctor and fashion designers, like.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. So I didn't know exactly what I wanted to be. So during my high school years, I pondered about those career paths that I would take. However, when it came on to post-secondary studies, after I completed my high school and journeying into my post-secondary studies, I made a complete turnaround, a different direction. I went into finance and accounting. So that's the career path that I took. And so I worked a number of years in that career field.
Right.
And afterwards, in 1992, we had a major recession. And so companies were laying off, and a lot of companies were closing down. So I didn't want to sit around and wait. So I did a proactive thing to do, and I went back to school and got qualified to work with special needs individuals who have mental disabilities, mental health disabilities.
Right.
And so I worked in that, that career for a very long time. And after working in that career, I transitioned from that into working with special needs kids with the school board. And so I would say that is the start of me wanting to write a book, even though at that time, Nikki, I did not have an idea that I would write a book. But I could see where it was the steps started for me to write my book. But at that time, it was not revealed to me. I did not know I would be writing a book during that time.
Okay. Well, I think we share a lot of common paths, because I too was kind of given the choice to be either a doctor, a lawyer, or family disgrace.
Wow.
Right? So I, strict Jamaican parents.
Exactly.
So I went the teacher route. So I was a teacher for many years.
Wow.
And then, then it just came upon this opportunity to be an author. So
right.
There we go with the author part. But I'm so proud of you for what you have accomplished. And this is your first book, right? Hi, Miss Homer?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So what was the motivation to write for children?
Well, Nikki, I got into the school board and I started working with special needs individuals. I started off as an educational assistant and then I transitioned into becoming a teacher. And over the years, I've worked with students from junior kindergarten up until to grade 12. And during those years, I can't count the many times that students would come up to me and said, Miss Homer, what is wrong with your arm? We want to know, I want to know.
Right.
And so, because usually I would answer their questions, but I felt within myself that I didn't do it much justice because you only have like a 40-minute period to teach, and there's so much to do within a day, and there's so many kids that are coming up wanting to know what is, why is the reason my arm was made the way it is.
Right.
And so I thought about, packaging myself in terms of creating a play or a skit. I wanted to market myself to sell the idea of coming into school boards, hoping that they will, buy into the idea to have someone come in and do presentation to students. And so that was my original intent, to do that I would just reach a wider audience of students rather than speaking to them individually.
Okay.
And so, Nikki, when I started writing my skit and my play, the pandemic hit. And so because we had all the shutdown and the lockdowns, everything was uncertain. We didn't know what would happen, like when schools would be reopened and if they would even, welcome outsiders back into the school. So I was kind of like torn between, I didn't know exactly what to do. So one day I was sitting and I was really thinking about it seriously, and I was like, oh, I have this great idea, but now it feels like as if it's falling to the wayside.
Right.
But then the idea just came, the thought that just came to my head, why don't you turn your idea into a book? And I'm like,
And there you
into
go.
a book. Yeah.
There you go.
That's my book. Hi,
That's
Miss
your book.
Homer.
Hi, Miss Homer. And basically the book, I mean, it's beautifully illustrated, by the way. Who illustrated this book?
So it was illustrated by Mr. Islam. I outsourced it from someone in Bangladesh.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Because it was just too expensive to do a traditional publisher
Sure.
to publish the book. Yes.
You have options,
Yes.
marketing options, but it's beautifully done, and then it speaks to just the children's curiosity as to who you are, and
Exactly.
and I love the fact that you've taken how everyone is made differently and spun it around to empower others, right? To accept their differences and their uniqueness.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. And then this book that you have, Compliments to My Mommy. Well, what can we learn from reading this?
Well, the idea behind compliments to my mommy is generated with my daughter. When she was at a very young age, for Mother's Day, she gave me a jar filled with different pieces of papers with nice words, sentences on it, complimenting me on, how I look, how I dress, how I take care of her, and so forth. So I had the jar tucked away for many years. So one year I was cleaning up and I came across it and I revisited all those words that were on the papers, and so I thought, why not put it into a book? And that's what I did. And so I dedicate this book to my daughter, Dream. Yes.
Her name is Dream?
Her name is Dream.
Oh, okay, well, Dream is right there in the back.
Yes, she is here to
taking some
support me.
snapshots.
Yes.
And who else is here? Who of your fan club?
Well,
Those great knowledge.
my husband is here. My husband of almost 30 years.
We should clap for that. That's huge. Some people don't last 30 minutes. So congratulations. whatever
And
you're doing.
my young son, David, is here. My older son, Dorrett Homer, is...
I know Dondre.
You do know Don? Oh, yes,
Yeah,
he
I
was on your show,
interviewed him.
too. Yes.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yes.
Awesome.
So he couldn't make it. I invited him, but couldn't make it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, again, huge congratulations for what you've done and the legacy that you're leaving to empower others, especially children, stretching them to understand where they belong in the world and
Exactly.
to appreciate other people. So where can people purchase these books?
So my books are on Amazon. It's on Ingram Spark and Barnes & Noble as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And where can people follow you on social media?
So they can follow me on social media on TikTok. It's Dorrett Inspires. And on Instagram, it's Dorrett Homer.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
I hope I can get a couple of signed copies of the books.
Yes, sure.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you so much. Dorrett
Thank
Homer,
you.
everyone. Reach
Okay.
out to her on social media. We'll be right back.